our mega recap of our 2-week series on the line, also called the slot. We've spent 2 weeks talking about leading on the slot, leading off of the slot. Is he on the slot? Am I on the slot? What's going to happen? You'll find out.
So, the slot. Right now, let's say we have an imaginary line. In class we had tape, but here you're going to have to use your imagination. Imagine a line. It's straight. So, we have this line. In order for her to get to the other side of me, I'm going to have to get off the line so she can go on the line. In general, it works really well if you keep your follows on the line. It works really well if we need to stay on and off the line as we need to be. Really up to the dancer as you go. But it's a nice way to organize the dance. It works really well for social dancing where you have a crowded floor, and let's say everybody's moving in slots and keeping to their area. Our area is now really small, which is nice. And so if you're at a really crowded dance floor, we know that this place is pretty safe. So, in general, if I were to start on the line, I'm going to rock step down that line and immediately get off so she can go, and then I get back on the line. So in general, all these patterns are me starting on the line, off the line, and then back on the line. Usually I take that rock step down the line, and then my 2 is going to get me off the line, and she's going to flow on through. But ultimately, it just really depends on what you're trying to do. But that's kind of a general rule of thumb. I go on the line and immediately get off, and then back on the line. So, kind of rule of thumb for that.
We started with pass-bys. Our next thing was...
Underarm turns work perfectly well. We can pass by on either side. We can also bring things in. Send outs work perfectly well on the line as well. Awesome. So then we also look at swing outs. Now one of the things that happens with swing outs, they're the same principles, but things are a little bit condensed. We technically have two. We have a send out and a bring in which case, for me, because it's a little bit compressed, I'm going to start a little bit off the line. So imagine there's a line right here, and I might start with that foot on the line or a little bit to the left of it. But here's me on the line, and here's me slightly off the line. If you think of a sugar push, again, on the line, I'm completely on the line the whole time. This is me 100% on the line, and blocking her way. She has no choice but to back up because I'm literally stopping her. But if I'm slightly off the line, it's going to make it a little bit more efficient. So here's me bringing her in, and then I get to the other side of the line, and then I get back to the original side of the line. And so I'm literally hopping the line the entire time. I don't go in a straight line that way, I'm still going that way and then curving. So I'm going to go and diving in, going across, sending her out, and getting back out. What I am doing at this point is, when I start, I want to think that I'm taking my left shoulder in, and when I'm backing out, I'm taking my right shoulder out. So, my left shoulder's diving straight in, and my right shoulder is backing out. Awesome. Now for follows, it's really her job to stay on the line. So if you want to describe that for like what you're doing here.
I'm staying on the line.
In general, it's both my job to be managing her on that line, but I'm not completely in control of everything. She actually is doing 50% of this and keeping herself on that line. So
He's encouraging me, and I'm saying, yeah.
And so, unless she feels me like take her off that line, she really should stay on the line. Sometimes it gets a little ambiguous and follows it, then is that up to you to be like, okay, did he say get off the line or did he say stay on the line? If you can't tell, it's up to you. Staying on the line is usually a pretty good choice.
Or sometimes you have something in your heart you want to express that requires you to get off the line, and that's fine too.
Awesome. And so, once again, if she's managing her own ability to stay on the line, I'm managing her ability to be on the line by me not being on the line when she's passing me. Everything's going to work out good. Cool. So, then let's actually save the fancy moves to the very end of this.
Got it.
Cool. So then, we took a look at Week 2. So, we have a couple different options for a rock step. Let's do from the side. So, if we're doing a rock step, we can go rock step. We're going back and then forward. When this happens, notice that our back heels stay up. This is not necessarily required, but in order to push off and go forward, my back heel is probably going to stay up. And so then the other option, which is actually really prevalent, is a back collect. We're going to go back collect. At that point, I'm probably rolling through my foot here. You'll see me go back, rolling through, and stepping. And so if that heel is dropping, it makes sense for me to collect my feet. So we have that, which is then a back collect. We also have a back, which is a little more rare, where we back. Awesome. We can do a little exercise, and this is actually kind of a fun thing to do on the floor, where you can be back, collect, tap, back, collect, tap. And we actually did all 3 of these, so go ahead and give that a shot, where you're going rock, step, tap, or back, collect, tap, or back, So in general, that's really nice because it also is going to encourage your follow to really feel normal with those things. In general, a lot of people tend to not ever lead that, and so it's a little bit scary when you're like, what am I doing? This is not a normal movement. So leading those kind of gets you into a nice feeling for that. But,
in general.
Yeah, in general. But we can also use that in a lot of places. So we see this a lot in a swing out, but let's actually take a look at a promenade first. So if she were to do a rock step, and I do a rock collect, back collect, it gives her room to get in front for that step. If we're supposed to be doing a rock step, that's going to be rock step, and then she has to move a lot to go for that. But if I give her a little bit of space, back collect, she has just a couple inches to go, and then we can finish our promenade. So same that motion, rock collect, go, hop, 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 ba-da, rock collect, go. It makes all of her movements a lot easier. Now if we're doing a reverse promenade, she's going to take that rock collect. So rock collect, go, walk, walk, triple, rock collect, go, walk, walk, triple. The same as the swing out, rock collect, go. It gives me that room in order to swing her out. So those are common places where we tend to see a rock collect, but there's a lot more places as well. You can find those as you go. But with a tuck turn, we're also going to look at using that down the line. So here's just a regular tuck turn, and she goes down the line, one step. But we can also rotate that in this direction. Taking a look at, this is a bit of a side note here, but if I were to go rock and move way here, all of that motion goes into this hand. It's kind of cool, but we're not going to go all the way to there, but get that one a shot. It's fun. If I go rock, collect, it brings her in front, which is a much stronger prep for a double tuck turn. So, back, collect, prep. So then we also looked at a couple other emotions with there. Was that what we did?
We did the fancy move.
We did do the fancy move. No, we had one more thing. We talked about continuity.
Oh.
So in general, one of the things that I wanted to bring up that when we're doing that transition from 6 to 8 counts, we did a lot of 8 count movements in here, is that you want to give as much confidence to your follow that will continue. You don't want this idea of send out, I'm not sure, go, go, stop. You want it to be just one continuous motion. And so the difference between a 6 count, if I were to lead 6 count here, she's going to feel probably even before 3 is done that I'm stopping, because she can feel me no longer moving. The tension starts building up almost immediately, even if it's very light, and she's like, okay, probably going to be a 6 count. Versus if I were to do an 8 count, rock, I give that feeling that we're going to go, and then she feels it build up. So it happens a lot later, and she feels that confidence to keep going. You want to give your follow confidence to say, yes, this is 8 count, not 6 count, keep moving.
We talked about there's a lot of different ways to see this and feel this, but one of the ways we visually checked for it is literally just seeing, are you making the follow punch your hand or not? Mm-hmm. If you're not, you're probably doing it right.
Probably doing it right. So if you watch that, if I'm going here, and we're going, I'm like, I'm not sure, a little bit of like hiccup happens, and then stopping. It's usually not nearly that dramatic, but it has a little feeling of like, go, I'm not sure, oh wait, no, go, stop. Instead, we want it to just be one motion. Rock, go, 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 go. In this, you'll see that it was really only a pull the whole time, even if it sort of went from pull versus like pull, push, pull, pull. So we used that for another tuck turn here, and we went rock, go, turn, catch. We sort of truncated that a little bit since we didn't have a whole lot of space. But I gave her this idea that I'm moving through. We really are continuing before we actually go through the tuck turn. Versus rock, tuck, ambiguous. And then she might shoot back that way or that way. We don't know. We really want that feeling. So we don't run off the track. Rock, go, turn, catch.
And I have 2 responsibilities here. One, to pace my turn so I don't end up turned around and just staring at him while he's finishing. But also to make sure I'm turning on the line. Mm-hmm. Turning on the line is really hard. It's very tempting for us to turn kind of in these like akimbo directions, but we practice turning on the line.
Yep, so imagine once again that line's right there. She knows where she's going, and so I don't have to manage that. I don't want to manage what she's doing because I can't manage it. Ultimately, I'm just letting her do her thing.
We're not even connected.
Awesome. So then, the 2 moves that we looked at today, the first one was just a fancy move with tandem. So, hands over in tandem, And we started with this yo-yo motion here. And we went over her head and then back the other way. Awesome.
Nailed it.
She stayed on the line, kept going, it worked. The actual footwork there is really the important thing is for me to stay close to my follow. But the footwork is rock, step, kick, step, run, run. And at this point, if I were to just bring her back in, it'd be rock, step, kick, step, rock, step. Or it's rock, step, kick, step, run, run, rock, step, run, 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 rock, step.
For me, the way I think about it, my footwork when I'm turning, because it's a fast turn, I run running. When I'm not turning, if I'm being led into a rock step, I'm rock stepping. If I'm doing Charleston, I'm kick stepping.
Yep.
Those are my options.
So yeah, let's try it one more time. Also, an awesome transition into this from a 4 count. That way you don't have to do the whole chase every time. It's just rock, step, kick, step for her. And for me, the footwork is literally rock, step, kick, pull, change. Or I can do rock, step, run, run. So I'm going rock, step, kick, pull, change, rock. And so then we're here. And I'm gonna go rock, step, run, run, rock, step, kick, step, step. I think I did change my footwork from what I described earlier. In general, a lot of those things work. Give it a shot. It will actually change depending on the situation. So change your footwork to make sense. Awesome. So this last part here, we're gonna start with a rotated rock step, and I'm just gonna pull her straight in, catch, and lunge. The important part here for the lunge is as she's coming through, I want to catch at this seam of her body, turn her, and bring her in. The important thing is I'm catching her right seam, not after. If I miss that, something weird is going to happen. So I need to catch early. So the way we practice this is if she's facing that way, catch that seam, she literally wraps up in my arm and steps through. She's stepping through with her right leg, I'm stepping back with my left. In general, she's stepping through my legs. It makes it so we don't knock knees. And again for this, rotated rock step, I'm going straight back, catch, bring in. Awesome. And I think that was just about it in general. Again, we're staying on the line, we're lunging right through. Awesome.
Thank you.